What's going on, everybody? Captain Ron here, and welcome back to the show. So today we're going to be talking about how to get more out of the Elite Tattoo app and your Elite Tattoo stencil printer. So unfortunately, YouTube is not very friendly to longer videos, so I am just going to kind of get some more in-depth details about how to get to more use out of your Elite app. In the last video, one thing I discussed, wasn't able to discuss, was getting multiple stencils on one page, and that's actually quite simple here. So we're going to go to our photo editing. We're going to choose our 8.5 by 14 because that's the paper we're going to use today, and then it's pretty simple to do that. So we're just going to select 3 images here, so there at the bottom. So we're going to select our lion, that's going to be our 1. We're going to select our raptor with wings, that's going to be our 2. And then we're going to select our flower line drawing. That's going to be our 3. So we're as you can see here, it's numbered right here up top. This is our third image. What we're going to do first is we're going to crop, and then it automatically crops. That way we can get the most out of our images here. And we're going to crop this as well. It automatically crops. Does a pretty good job of that. Put this down here. And then we're going to crop this as well, just to get rid of all the background stuff. So we're going to, and you can also you can shrink it with your fingers. I know it's kind of hard to see me doing it with gloves on, but shrinking with your fingers does work quite well. And then if you want to, if you know your exact size in millimeters, you can also get away with doing that as well. Unfortunately, we use inches in here, so inches where I'm from, so we would have to. I would have to convert that from inches. And it's important you want to crop your images first, because if you don't crop it, the dimensions will count the entire page, including all the blank spaces on the top. So it's very important. So we can change that easily here. So let's say we want to go a couple millimeters bigger. We can go 102. I want to delete this first. 102. Done. See, it makes it just a little bit bigger. So on this one, we'll go dimension. We're going to make it a little bit wider. So we'll make it 97. 97. Boom, 97. And let's say we want to make our lion head just a little bit smaller. So we're going to go to 100. Boom. So yeah, I mean, a couple ways around that. You can just do some simple converting on Google. If you're a big math guy, I'm sure that'd be fun for you, but I am not. So okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back out just a little bit. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and fire one of these off. Now another awesome thing about this paper is it has a perforation in the back, which is very easy to snap it off. I was cutting it off like a pleb last time, but it is very easy just to rip it off. It has a nice perforation back here that you can just rip it off. So I would normally leave it shut. I would then feed it. There we go, it'll catch. I'd like to straighten this out a little bit before I hit the feed. We'll feed it, we'll get a judgment here. It looks okay. I'm gonna slide it over to this way a little bit more though. One more feed, and it looks pretty good. So we're going to bring our line down just a little bit. Let's bring it a little bit closer together. Fire this off. Now since we're just doing lines, let's go ahead and let's leave it at dark. I think dark will... Just barely. Nice. So as you can see, quite simple here. I don't know if you guys can see that better. Anyways, that is how that is done. Pretty easy. Yeah, it's just kind of like you're selecting multiple pictures. You just want to make sure you crop them. You just want to make sure you crop them just to make sure you're getting rid of all that extra background empty space. Because when you bring it over from Procreate, it does count the whole page as a section. Alright guys, what we're going to talk about next is the photo splitting option. So you So it's right below the photo. Sorry, let me go back here. So photo editing, photo splitting. We're going to go to photo splitting. So this is going to be to break up large artworks up into multiple pages. Let's say you're doing a big back piece. Let's say you're doing a pretty long sleeve. We're going to go big or go home here. Might as well, right? Let's push it with the shaded version. We're going to crop all this junk out. The crop is a very important tool, especially if you're going to be using the dimensions feature and getting exact measurements. I can't believe I overlooked that, but so maybe we can, let's rotate it here. Let's rotate it and try to get the most out of each page. I know a guy who's going to absolutely cringe when he sees how much paper I waste. A little smaller. So that looks pretty good. We're not cutting anything off. We're about as big as we can go. So anyways, let's go ahead and let's mirror it so that way it is correct. Oh crap, let's not mirror it. Let's just go back. We're fine with that. So you are going to want to mirror it though. So once we have this back, sorry about the lighting here, guys. I'm in the corner of my office. Okay, so now we have it all set up to where we want it to be. We're going to hit our print button, okay? And then since we are going with something that's shaded, we're going to go with light. And we're going to start off by printing page 1. Paper. And we're going to take advantage of our perforation here. Very cool, that's very cool. Okay, so we know we're going to start off with page 1 here, okay? So, we're going to run it through the usual song and dance here. I'm going to try to leave as much paper in there as possible. That way we can get the most out of it, okay? So, yeah, I think that'll be fine. It looks like... Okay, guys, I'm making a huge mistake right here. So that gap between the glue seam and the machine here in the very front, that like 1 inch right there, that's a mistake. That is going to cost us, lining up these 4 pages, that's going to cause us a problem at the end of this video that you will see. So that being said, if you're gonna, when you're gonna feed this through, you gotta feed it through and you gotta meet the very top of the page at the end of your printer, otherwise it's gonna throw off your thing. So you'll see this at the end of this video. Leaves a little buffer. Okay, so let's we're gonna go light, like I said, because we're using a shaded version, and we're gonna fire this off. Well, hot dang. Look at that. Okay, so now we have page 1 done. We're gonna set that off to the side. We're gonna come back over here, and that fell on the ground. Awesome. And we're gonna tear off our second piece here. This perforation is very handy. That is one thing I suggested to them on their next trial of paper, is put a perforation on the front like Spirit has. And other than that, this stuff is actually pretty dang good. Okay, so we're gonna feed our paper through. We're gonna line it up here. We're looking at these edges here. Make sure we have a nice clearance, make sure it's nice and squared off, nice and flush on both sides. We're gonna select page 2. Alright, so even this little gap right here is going to throw us off. So it's just, if you're going to be doing these large photo split things, I mean, and if you do them, I'm sure you already know this, but for those who don't, that little gap will throw us off in the end, so just something to think about. Page 2 and whammo. And there we have it. So page 2 is done. I do like how it leaves a little buffer here on the edges for when you're going to seam it up at the end. That's very handy. They really put a lot of thought into this stuff, into this app, and I can admire that. We are 3 for 3 on these back pages. No rips, tears, or nothing. Big itch. A little more. Sorry, it's not a very big table here, guys. Okay, we're going to square this all up, make it all nice and flush. We're going to fix this here because it is not. Okay, so we're going to select page 3 and then print. Okay, page 3 is done. Looks like we missed a chunk. Yeah, missed a small chunk, but I suppose I might have moved something here, but maybe I didn't. Anyways, not too big a deal. Small oversight on my end, but let's get over here and we'll tape this together and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so it looks like we're gonna have to cut one edge off here, so I'm gonna try my absolute best. Put it straight down here, and then put it with a box knife and have it straight at the guys like that. That's the important part. Okay, and so here we have, we're gonna get our seam lined up. Now I'm gonna throw one piece of tape on the skin side just to kind of get the seam matched up nice and perfectly. And then we're gonna flip it around back, maybe 2 pieces just to be safe. We're gonna flip it around back, and then we'll finish taping it up. We're gonna get some of the tack off this. Alright, you guys, if we look at the top of our pages here, you see that they are not exactly lining up, and that is because those gaps I mentioned a few times in this video. So since we didn't match up our pages with the very beginning of the print, it's not matching up. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, just let me know. I'll try my best to explain it. Alright, now that shouldn't be going anywhere. Let's move on to 3 and 4. How cleanly this paper does seem to, we might have to connect 2 to 3 and etc. Work the way down to the bottom. Now it's suggested that you rip it from the bottom, you kind of peel it off like you're peeling a sticker. I did want to show you that how this does kind of come off quite smoothly on the top right there. I did suggest to them that putting a perforation like spirit paper would be an awesome idea. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions. Alright, this way, go straight back. Here it is here. Okay, let's see if I can. Oh yeah, we can clean this up. We're gonna start by cutting off this here. Now, we probably don't have to go all the way up. We can probably get away with. Just this right here. This stuff is actually quite thin. Oh wait, we got the best example of a. Okay, that's where our piece ends right here. That's our indoor spider web. So we're gonna get rid of that. And if not, you know, we can cut this. Yeah, we might as well go all the way up. I'm still running here, guys. This is still pretty brand new to me, so. Okay, so that will work. We're going to get our bottom matched up here. Looks pretty good to me. We're going to get the tacky off this. We're going to put one piece right here in the middle. Oh, Lord. Okay, that's going to be kind of like our temporary hold there. That's pretty close. you know, I don't think we should put a piece here because it's going to interfere with our, and that's why we took all the tack off this, because if we peel this off, sometimes it'll peel the page back. So if we put a piece up there, I believe it's going to interfere with our top piece meshing together. Okay, so that is to kind of tack it together, and then we're going to kind of secure it from the back here. So and then put one there, one here. Now you could probably use Scotch tape for this and get better results, but I just used this barrier waterproof water block tape. It just seems to work better for me. So alright, so let's see if we can squish this on my tiny little Amazon table here. So it looks like we're going to want to cut this seam. I don't think there's much there in terms of tattoo there.
It was at this moment Jackson knew. He fucked up.
Yeah, it looks like we missed something. Anyway, alright, so we learned an important lesson here. So, and I brought this up several times in the video, so there wouldn't be any confusion here. But it is so important that you line up your sheets perfectly. See how these aren't lined up here? Because no matter where you start your paper in the machine, it's going to automatically assume you're starting it from the very edge. So as long as you're starting your paper from the exact same spot, you should be just fine. So just something to think about. I did notice some like slight inconsistencies as well. It could have been from the peel to the way I was peeling. Could have been. I mean, if you're one of those guys that does stuff like this all the time, please let me know. I'd love to learn some more. What I did wrong or what I did right, you know. But as far as an off-brand paper, I think it did pretty well. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Another video, another day. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, you guys can support me directly by going down to the shop and buying some merch. You can buy a tattoo review sticker like this, buy a Captain Ron shirt like that. You could do a super thanks, $2 super thanks. I'm thinking about maybe opening up memberships too, and then we can do special membership videos, maybe some live tattooing stuff or unboxing stuff or something like that. Whatever you guys want to do. Don't forget to check out the secondary channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.